ranking the top 20 zombie maps in COD history. The Call of Duty community is very vocal with their opinions when content creators rank anything. So, I thought to myself, why not have the community do the ranking instead? So, with that in mind, I made a Call of Duty zombie map tournament, where first I had the community vote for every zombie map from every Call of Duty individually to rank them for seeding. After that, I made over 100 polls where each one had 2 zombie maps face off directly with each other to have a winner. And these polls ended up having about 1.5 million votes. This means the sample size is large enough to make this video pretty accurate to the overall community's feelings about maps. And with all the results compiled together, this is the community's ranking of the top 20 zombie maps in COD history. 20th, the final rank from COD World War II. I still remember the first time I played this map. All of my friends had stopped playing Call of Duty by this point, and I went in solo. I was instantly feeling a little bit alarmed with the atmosphere of the map, and then they hit me with a jump scare, and it got me good. It brought back the horror element to Call of Duty Zombies in a big way, which is something I think Zombies needs to bring back again. It's a really good way to make players feel engaged with the game immediately. And while it didn't have a lot of side content, it did have a very simple casual quest and an insanely complicated hardcore quest to give players plenty to do. I never did the hardcore quest because I was all alone until my friends came back to play Black Ops 4 Zombies. And in my opinion, it's easily the best COD World War II Zombies map, and I personally would have rated it a little higher. 19th, D Machine from Black Ops Cold War. This map is how Notcher Untone makes it onto the list. They threw the first ever Call of Duty Zombies map right into the middle of it to try and make the location more interesting. It's a snowy forest with a lab below it. I wonder if this is the frozen forest Black Ops 3 was talking about. And the reason you guys voted it onto the list is probably because it's arguably the most casual map of all time. It's an incredibly simple map where the Easter egg is very easy. It's also very easy to go high rounding on. The positives of this is that you can just turn your brain off and just mow down zombies. It's also good for bringing in new zombies players just being introduced to the mode. But this also comes at a cost and is the reason it wasn't voted into the top 10. Hardcore zombie fans found it underwhelming because nothing was catered towards them outside of the nostalgic reminder of where this mode started with Notcher Untone. One thing hardcore fans did love D Machine for was the grinding element for their zombie camos. So, while it isn't viewed as an elite map, everyone did find something they enjoyed about it, which is why it just snuck onto the list. This video has been in the works for 3 months and couldn't have been completed without you guys voting on the polls and letting your opinions be heard. And if you enjoy these community ranking tournaments, please leave a like if you'd like to see more of them. 18th, Transit from Black Ops 2. I think this was without a doubt the most shocking map to make the list, because all you ever hear from the Zombies community is how much they dislike Transit. Is nostalgia the only reason it got into the top 20? Or is it just not as bad as the loudest people in the community say? Speaking from a personal point of view, me and my friends played this map so much and always had fun, even though the fog, denizens, lava, and wonder weapons sucked. And while I just listed off a bunch of negatives about it, we still had fun, which is the most important part. I think the main issue with Transit is that it was a terrible map to solo on and was truly only really fun if you had a party of 4 friends playing. So while it may not technically be a good or great map, many people found a way to enjoy it, and that's all that matters. These lists are generally never objective when content creators make them, so why shouldn't the community be subjective as well? Please comment what Call of Duty community tournament you'd like to see next. Love to hear your ideas. 17th, Terminus from Black Ops 6. This was one of 2 launch maps from this game, and it was filled with so much content. That was possible because of how large the map was. It had side quests of all kinds, from whack-a-mole to boat racing, which aren't the greatest things ever, but still fun to discover and try out. It had a main quest that was enjoyable even if it wasn't spectacular, but where it really shined was a great boss fight against a Kraken. I remember the first time I played this map seeing a giant tentacle pop out of the water, and it freaked me out. Terminus to me is basically a Liberty Falls plus. The atmosphere is better, there's more content, and it's a little bit more difficult. I think it does enough for hardcore players to enjoy, while still being simple enough and easy enough for casual players to enjoy as well, which is a big reason why I think it was ranked higher than D Machine and is better than any Cold War Zombies map. I'm only 3,000 subscribers away from 100k, while 84% of you aren't subscribed. If you enjoy the videos and want to be a part of the next community tournaments, hit that button, it's free. I appreciate all of you. 16th, Citadel de Mort from Black Ops 6. Hey, what can I say? Zombie fans love castles, and so do I. The newer zombie maps got some love in the polls, which is great. And the interesting part about this one is that you can complete quests in any order you want to complete the Easter egg and get to the boss fight. It also makes getting the Pack-a-Punch machine really easy, which allows for this map to be easy enough for casual players, while also having a nice Easter egg quest with a very good boss fight that is difficult enough for the hardcore fans. And of course, they have elemental swords that are really cool, which Treyarch already knew you would like, because they've seen positive reactions from the community with elemental wonder weapons before. The only real problem I think Citadel has is the boss zombie spam and not having unique boss zombies to fit the medieval castle theme. But that's a really small issue that doesn't impact the other high quality aspects of it, which is why it was voted the best Black Ops 6 map. 15th, Ascension, our first map from Black Ops 1. It added two of the most iconic perks to zombies with Stamina Up and PhD Flopper. This turned the Mustang and Sally into an elite zombies weapon because you couldn't be damaged from them anymore. It has a very easy Easter egg, but had one giant issue. You needed 4 players, which is an interesting choice, but to be fair, this is when they were truly just starting to expand the story in Call of Duty Zombies, and we're still figuring some things out. But that's one of the main reasons people loved Ascension, because it told us a bunch of the backstory. The only really major complaint the community had was the space monkeys, because they would steal your perks, which is valid, because they used to steal my perks all the time, and I was not a fan. While the map was simple, it was fun to play on, and was creating and expanding the zombies mode, which is why I think it's very deserving to make the list. Oh, and of course, it also had a legendary wonder weapon with the Thunder Gun. Also, I want to quickly tell you this is really a community top 30 zombie map video, where I'll quickly tell you 30th to 21st before the end of the video. 14th, Ancient Evil from Black Ops 4. This is personally my second favorite map from BO4. The soundtracks in this game are amazing, but Ancient Evil brought it a step further. The Greek mythology adds an incredible aspect to this map. I mean, you can unlock a Pegasus on a quest to take you to the dark side of the map, which essentially translate into the ominous and eerie side. This map essentially gives you 2 separate maps with different atmospheres, and they pull it off perfectly. The wonder weapons are incredible, with the Hand of Charon being my favorite because of how cool the weapon effect is, with the skeleton hands coming out of the ground and dragging the zombies down to hell. The boss fight felt cinematic and unforgettable. One of the most replayable zombie maps ever. If Black Ops 4 Zombies had Cold War mechanics, I think people would view this as a top 5 map of all time. 13th, Call of the Dead from Black Ops 1, an absolute classic. When it came out, I think it was the biggest zombie map we had ever seen, and it brought in a completely unique atmosphere to anything we had seen before it as well. It would bring in fog randomly, making it difficult to see, adding to the immersion of the map with essentially a weather event. And the only big negative with it was the underwhelming wonder weapons. Then it had a unique cast of characters, giving the map its own story. And Call of the Dead required you not to camp and made you have to train zombies because of George Romero, the boss zombie. He was slightly annoying, but if you killed him, he did give you a free perk and the Wonder Waff if you did the Easter egg. Then he'd come back a couple rounds later, but the reward helps offset his annoying hanging around, waiting to get mad at you. Overall, it was a really unique map that tried out new things and left a strong impression within the zombies community. 12th, Zetsubo no Shima from Black Ops 3. The most important part about this map is it lets you play as a spider, at least according to Expert Fusion. That was one of my favorite comments from the polls. When BO3 first released this map, people weren't super excited for it because the game already had so many top tier maps, which made it immediately underrated. But as time has passed and people have gone back to play it, they realized how important it was to be able to play as a spider. Okay, I'll stop making the spider joke. The location being on an isolated island with labs works so well to make you invested in finding out what happened here. And I know, I said I'd stop talking about spiders, but there was a boss fight against a spider that was pretty cool because it gave you Widow's Wine for defeating it. Then the KT-4 was also a pretty good wonder weapon because it not only worked for taking out zombies, it also worked with the map's plant system where it could fertilize the plants to make them even better. They could give you anything from a free perk to cloning yourself for an extra life essentially. But that's not all Zetsubo did. It one-upped COD Ghost AI Fish by being the first zombies map to allow swimming. So take that, ghosts. Oh, and did I say you can play as a spider? Moving on. 11th, Buried from Black Ops 2, a Western-themed zombies map. I mean, come on, who wouldn't like that? And it's called Buried because the Western town is underground, adding to the atmosphere and story. Arthur was also just a really cool character who was unique to Buried, and he could help you in multiple ways by giving him booze or candy, like breaking barriers down on the map to open new paths. It added a new wonder weapon with the paralyzer, and it had unlimited ammo, which made it a lot better, and it let you have advanced movement basically because it allowed you to jump really high using it. We also got a new perk with Vulture Aid, and it was the only map that had it in Black Ops 2. It then had the witch's house and the maze to get there, which you would think would be easy after you've gone through the maze once, but it changed every match. A really cool feature. Overall, it was a fun map that casual players could enjoy. 10th, Dead of the Night from Black Ops 4. This map had zero hype leading up to its release because BO4 did a terrible job marketing. It had no gameplay trailer and had its intro cinematic showed one day before it released. This led to Dead of the Night being underrated out of the gate, but as you're seeing, people have come around to really respecting and liking it. You've heard me say it already, but atmosphere is so important for a zombies map, and this one came through with an eerie mansion that has werewolves and vampires. This is one of my favorite looking maps, and it's filled with so much content. It has a great main Easter egg and a couple fun side Easter eggs, but one of the side quests feels almost necessary, where you get a wooden stake that makes dealing with those boss vampires a lot easier. Then Alistair's Folly Wonder Weapon was really good, which is always an important part to elevate the fun of a map. Dead of the Night stands out from the rest by being unique, which usually means it's really good or really bad, and Treyarch delivered a map to be positively remembered. 9th, 9 from Black Ops 4. You can't make this up. 9 at 9. When you guys were voting on the polls, you had no idea what ranking you were voting them to, but somehow you did it perfectly. The setting of the map is partially what made it so great. You're in a coliseum with obviously a gladiator theme. They even have a crowd on the map that reacts to how you're playing. I don't think there's a single Call of Duty fan who doesn't think that's cool. And the boss fight against the Fury and Wrath elephants was amazing. And I think part of the reason it was so good is because you thought you won once you took out the first zombie elephant until they surprised you with a second one breaking through the giant gate into the arena. I played 9 so much and have so many memories of it because this game and this map is what brought all my friends back to playing zombies, which is why I was so happy when I saw you guys voted it into the top 10. 8th, Derice from World at War. Arguably the most innovative map of all time, it added the staple pack-a-punch machine that has been in every zombies map since. It wouldn't feel right without it. We also got the iconic monkey bombs for the first time, and for most people, this is where the zombie story really began. We also got the Wonder Waff, which I think everyone unanimously likes, and it was an easy map that allowed for players to sit back and camp on the catwalk. It's a very simple map in comparison to what we see now, but it was truly the first stepping stone into creating the great maps that were yet to come. 7th, Garad Krovi from Black Ops 3. There's dragons and a giant robot. If that doesn't pique your interest immediately, I don't know what will. Now let me tell you, the boss fight is against a dragon, and then you fight Nikolai in a mech suit. This map just feels like an out-of-pocket idea Treyarch came up with, but then worked it out perfectly. It wasn't a cakewalk to play Garad, but that added to the satisfaction of completing Easter eggs or reaching higher rounds. And sometimes the dragons would help you if you used the Dragon Strike, where you basically called it a napalm strike, but it was actually just Charizard using a flamethrower. It's just filled to the brim with side quests that give you rewards, which I think is always a good thing because you aren't forced to do them, but it gives players the opportunity to do more things if they want. 6th, Keynote or Tone from Black Ops 1. If you've been playing zombies from the beginning, this map is pure nostalgia. And this one has to be the most controversial placement on the list based off the comments in every single poll it kept winning. The funniest comment I saw was, Kino isn't a map to challenge your skill, it's to challenge yourself on how long you can last before clicking leave game button. You either love that comment or aren't happy about it. And as we saw, most people disagreed with that sentiment. Kino is iconic, and so is its wonder weapon, the Thunder Gun. A big reason why it was so popular is because it was the easier and more casual launch map in Black Ops 1, and at the time, there weren't as many zombie experts who wanted to play the more challenging maps. It was perfect for the time it came out, even if it doesn't hold up quite as well. 5th, Zombies in Spaceland from Infinite Warfare, the highest non-Treyarch made map on the list. Or should I say, one of only 2 non-Treyarch maps on this list. It was very difficult for any Sledgehammer or Infinity Ward zombie map to get love in this tournament, which just shows how good Zombies in Spaceland is to be voted into the top 5. What it does so well is allow people to play casually by just pack-a-punching weapons and killing zombies. But it also has an insane amount of content for players to discover and uncover, which allows any type of player to love the map. It of course has an Easter egg, which is pretty simple, but it leads into a boss fight against an alien, which was cool. And what you will continue to hear with all of these amazing zombie maps is the setting and/or atmosphere is incredible and unique. Being in an amusement park set in the 80s is something we have never seen and may never see again. It almost feels like Infinity Ward knew the community thought Carnival from Modern Warfare 2 was liked because the setting was cool. So they took that idea from an old multiplayer map and used it for zombies, but done even better. I mean, they licensed 80s music and had it playing on speakers around the map. If you don't think that's cool, then you're lying. It's a perfect map for any type of player. Fourth, Shadows of Evil from Black Ops 3. The first word that comes to mind when I hear Shadows of Evil is atmosphere. It is beautiful, the soundtrack was beautiful, and my jaw dropped the first time I played it. This map was put together so well, and what it did perfectly was stand out and apart from every other zombie map Call of Duty had ever created, which is why it has left such an impact on the community. They added Beast Mode to this map, which was a better version of Afterlife from another map that will be talked about soon. You also have the Apothecant Servant, which is a top tier wonder weapon. Then another thing Shadows did great was having useful side quests such as upgrading the Apothecant Sword. I still remember some people complaining when this map first released, saying it was too difficult because of the tight alleyways and spaces around the map, but most of them changed their mind and learned how amazing and well crafted it was quickly, a very deserving placement in the top 5. Third, Der Eisendrache from Black Ops 3. This is one of my most played zombie maps of all time, and that's because it's one of the best of all time. Like I said earlier, us Call of Duty fans love castles, elemental wonder weapons, and snow. This one delivers on all 3, so it wasn't possible for it to not be great. Der Eisendrache is a perfect map that you'll enjoy every single time you play it because there are no major issues, and unlike Shadows of Evil, not one casual player will ever complain about it being too difficult. It appealed to every player immediately, which is why it was probably voted 1 spot ahead. It gives you the ability to do small side quests, a boss fight, quests to get whichever elemental bow you want, and more. And let me know what your favorite memory playing COD Zombies is. I'm sure for many of you it was on Der Eisendrache, but for me, it's on Mob of the Dead from Black Ops 2. And I am so happy it's up here because this is my personal favorite Call of Duty Zombies map. I think this is my most played map ever, and as I said, it gave me my favorite memory playing zombies. While completing the Easter egg, we had just taken out the Brutuses, and then I was Weasel, and all my friends were trying to kill me as I ran away for my life. Even though I knew I had to die for the Easter egg, I still didn't want to let them get me. And from that story, you already heard it has its own unique set of characters like Call of the Dead. Then it also has Afterlife, which is where Shadows of Evil got its Beast Mode from. It was also the first time Alcatraz was in Call of Duty, which as we know, just like castles, COD fans love the Alcatraz setting. And to get Pack-a-Punch, you have to build a plane that crashes onto the Golden Gate Bridge. And all of that fits in perfectly to the Easter egg telling a great story that seems like it has nothing to do with the main zombie storyline, but you'll find out that it does later on. The map is basically a mysterious puzzle filled with terror. There simply isn't another map that feels like it, which sets it apart from the others, making it one of the best and most memorable to the entire community. Quickly before revealing the number 1 map, if you remember, I promised to tell you the 30th to 21st zombie map according to the community. 30th, Shangri-La from Black Ops 1. This map is beautiful, and my younger self got beat up by this map. It was so difficult. 29th, Verrek from World at War. It added perk machines and does something people would be interested in seeing more often, a multiplayer map as a zombies map. It was terrifying as a kid to play. 28th, Liberty Falls from Black Ops 6. It had some people concerned pre-launch, but it ended up being a solid casual map. 27th, Shaolin Shuffle from Infinite Warfare. I was surprised to see it make the top 30, but it rightfully did because I loved the layout. 26th, Blood of the Dead from Black Ops 4. I love the Easter eggs on it, but it is essentially a worse version of Mob. 25th, Moon from Black Ops 1. An amazing setting and a great storyline. I think this is a good ranking for it. 24th, Revelations from Black Ops 3. This map felt like a cluttered mess of fun. It wasn't great, but it brought back many memories. 23rd, Togged or Tone from Black Ops 4. A different take on Call of the Dead with slightly better wonder weapons. 22nd, Mauer to Tone from Black Ops Cold War. In my opinion, the best map from Cold War. I love the Cerberus wonder weapon. 21st, Raven the Redwoods from Infinite Warfare. I absolutely love this map, and I thought it should have been on the list over D Machine. I'm sure all of you know what map is coming up. First, Origins from Black Ops 2. The best zombies map of all time according to the community. The map that had giant robots first and had elemental wonder weapons first with the staffs. It was filled to the brim with side quests, with some of them being puzzles you had to solve to get the different staffs. The map has a really nice layout where you have essentially 6 different parts you have to go to in order to have the Pack-a-Punch machine unlocked. And fun fact, it was the first map to have an outro cutscene. That is what's really so cool about COD Zombies, is that it feels like they're always trying to add things to make the mode better. The only real complaint people ever have about Origins is that the setup is tedious, but it clearly wasn't too big of an issue with it snagging the top spot. The Easter egg is definitely way easier and quicker to do when you have 4 players, and like all other great maps, it has an incredible soundtrack and atmosphere. And are there any maps you think the community should have put on the list, or do you think this list is perfect? And if you want to see the community's top 20 multiplayer maps in Call of Duty history, click here. You won't be disappointed. I'll catch you next time. Peace.